I'm Miss Susan from the Muhlenberg County Public Library. We're going to do some science today. We're going to try to find out how to clean pennies. Have you ever looked at change when you get it back? Pennies sometimes look really, really shiny, and sometimes it looks like it's been around since dirt was created, like it's really old. So today we're going to see if we can't shine some of these pennies up. We're going to take just a few things. We've got some pennies. I've got a few pennies here that I found that are sort of dingy, ugly looking. They're dirty. I have a clear cup. I have some lemon juice and a few paper towels just in case we make a little bit of a mess. So we're going to try to polish pennies today. So I'm going to take some pennies. I've got 4 or 5 here. Drop them in a cup. We're going to cover them with lemon juice. And make sure your adult knows you're using lemon juice. Yep, I just saw it drip. So we're going to pour some on top and just sort of stir it around a little bit. Make sure those pennies get covered really well. And then we're going to set it aside. It takes about 5 minutes or so for them to actually do its work. So I'm going to set the pennies aside. We're going to come back to that project in a minute. While those are setting, we are going to create another project, another science project. This one is going to use an empty water bottle. Make sure it's dry. So maybe you drank out of it, let it air out, and it's good and dry. We're going to use a balloon. I just happened to pick up a pink one. So I have a balloon. We're also going to use, this is baking soda. My box got thrown away. So this is baking soda here. I have vinegar. I have a funnel. And then I have some little measuring things too that I can use. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to magically blow up this balloon without using any of our breath. You think it can be done? I'm not sure. I can look at it for a while, but I don't think it's going to blow itself up. So let's see if we can magically do it with science. So if we take our bottle, we're going to get, I have a half a tablespoon here. We're going to use 4 tablespoons of vinegar. And my vinegar, let's see if we can get this in here. There is, well, I'll tell you what, let's put a paper towel under this because I'm not quite confident that I'm not going to spill this. So let's put, that's a half. You all can help me at home too. We got to get to 4 and these are only halves, so we're going to have to do several. This right here is another half, which makes 1 tablespoon. Here's another half. This is 1 1/2. This is going to make 2. Two and a half tablespoons. This is going to make 3. We only have 1 more tablespoon to go, but since we're using a half a tablespoon, we need 2 more of these. There is 3 1/2. And let's do 1 more. That makes 4. It's not a whole lot. So let's set that aside and close that so we don't make a spill. Okay, so now we have vinegar in our empty water bottle. Next, we're going to take our balloon. Now, this is a little bit tricky. You probably will have to have someone help you, but I'm going to try and do this. Okay, so now we need 2 tablespoons of baking soda. So let me make sure I dry this off really, really well because I don't want anything special to happen before we get it in the bottle. Dry this little spoon off. For some reason, I couldn't find a tablespoon one. But we're going to make do with what we have. Just like at home, you can make do with what you have. So I'm going to put some baking soda into my balloon. Whoa! Did you see that? That sort of puffed out at me here. So we're just going to keep trying. I think I had a clump in that baking soda and it sort of poofed back at me. That was sort of funny. All right. Another, so that's 1 tablespoon. Ooh, did you see that? Wow, you guys be really careful doing this. It's easy to drop. Yeah, I see a little clump in there. So that's 1 tablespoon. We're gonna do 1.5. Didn't know math went along with science, did ya? Wonder what else we can come up with. And that makes 2. 2, make sure you hold on to your balloon or it'll drop just like mine did. All right, so that's 2 tablespoons of baking soda. Baking soda usually comes in a yellow box. Make sure your adult knows you're doing this, okay? So I have vinegar in a water bottle, a clean, dry water bottle. I have a balloon with baking soda. How is that going to blow up my balloon now? I have a bunch of stuff in my balloon. How's it going to get bigger? Must be something to do with science. So when you do this, be careful to hold the bottle tight and to make sure the baking soda does not creep in yet. We're going to make sure our balloon is on here tight. So once we have the balloon attached at the neck, I'm holding the baking soda over here to the side. So we have vinegar in the bottom, baking soda here, and we're going to see what happens when we tip this baking soda in. Are you ready? Can I get a countdown? How about 3, 2, 1. Oh, uh-oh. What is going on? Do you see the balloon? It's growing. Oh my goodness, it's blowing it up a little bit. Do you see the fizz down here too? It's almost like if you shake a can of pop and you open it and it starts bubbling up. Oh my goodness. I can hear it fizzing just a little bit. But it did blow up my balloon a little bit. Now let me see if I can get this off. Be very careful. I heard a fizz when I did that. So I could tie my balloon. Let's see. It might not have blown it up as big as you had wanted, but if you'd used more, it might have. That'd be something you want to try at home. If you put a little bit more baking soda and a little bit more vinegar, it might have blown it up more. But I did not use my mouth. We did not blow it up that way. We still blew up a little balloon that is good to play with. So I'm going to cap this up right here. Now what happened in that was a chemical reaction. The chemical reaction was the baking soda and the vinegar reacting together. When they're apart, they're fine. But when you put those 2 items together and they start mixing up, they bubble up. Have you had a can of pop before and you sort of like shake it just a little bit and you take a drink maybe out of a bottle of it and it's all fizzy? That is called carbonation. Carbon dioxide forms, and that is what makes the fizz that actually put air that blew up my balloon. Now let's see, we started with another project, didn't we? And you can try these things at home. Just make sure your adult knows you're doing it. There's lots of things you can do to get the fizz. You might even look up Mentos and a bottle of pop. Just make sure you do that outside and in an open area because it's going to make a mess. We couldn't do that here in the studio. But the pennies, how about we check on those pennies? We were going to polish pennies. This was the other science project we were doing. Here is our lemon juice and pennies. I'm going to pull one of these out and see. I don't know if you can see very well, but they were really, really dirty, weren't they? Stick my finger in here and get one of these out and see if it looks any better. And we didn't leave them quite as long as they suggested, but this one is starting to look a little bit better. Let me try another one that maybe wasn't so bad. That was one of the worst ones I had. Let's try one that looked a little bit better. Maybe not quite as dirty, didn't have as much oxidation on it. What happens is pennies, or most pennies, are made out of copper, and there's oxygen in the air that we take, that we breathe. Well, that collects on the copper pennies and it sort of turns it a little dark sometimes. And if you look, my paper towel has got dark on it. So it is cleaning some of that dark oxide off the pennies. If we left it a little bit longer, I think it would be shinier. But this one looks a whole lot better than, say, I have some over here that look like this. That is a big difference. So if you wanted to polish up your pennies and get the oxide off that forms on pennies from the oxygen we breathe because they're copper, you can put some pennies in lemon juice and maybe leave it a little bit longer. Whoop, there went that one. We can leave it a little bit longer the next time. Maybe you want to leave it 5, closer to 10 minutes, and then take them out and polish them up and see if some of that black doesn't come off and make your penny look new and shiny. That one probably the more that was on it, the longer it took. Some of them didn't look quite as bad as others. This one needs a little soak, so I'm going to drop these back in there and I'll let them soak for a little bit longer. Now, that's just a few things that you can do at home that you probably have things laying around for science, like when you're bored or when you're looking something to do. Maybe it's cold outside, or maybe it's just rainy, or you just have to stay in for whatever reason. There's all kinds of things you can do at home with science. So that's just a few ideas. Thanks for sharing a few minutes with me today. Have fun with your own science projects. Have a great day. Bye.